Hello there. This is the premiere broadcast of my new podcast, and it's called Speak Up or Speak Out. I'm going to talk about a variety of subjects. The first subject will be politics because I want to get it out of the way, and it's also one of the more controversial ones. And the whole podcast is designed not around fact or research or anything like that. I'm going to basically give you my philosophy and my opinion on the subject, and I want to solicit your philosophy and your opinion on the subject via email, and then also maybe some suggestion on other subjects you would like me to talk about or that we can interact over together. Before I begin the podcast on politics, I want to shamelessly plug my other page, which is just simply called John Burrows. That's JohnBurrows, and its logo is an old-style gold microphone. On that page, I do songs from the 60s. I used to be in bands in the 60s, and you can hit videos and you'll see the songs that I do, and I also do chapters from my life story, which might help you understand a lot of the opinions I'm going to spew out on this page. So on we go with politics. It's very hard for me to begin on this subject because when I was a boy growing up, politicians were role models. They were people we admired, people we looked up to protect our country, to keep our country economically secure, to make the country grow, and to simply solve the problems that the country faced at that time and would face in the future. Nowadays, we no longer have those type of politicians. In my view, what we have are a bunch of, I don't know how to put it, but a bunch of people that are concerned only for themselves. It has nothing to do with the country. I'm not talking about everybody. I couldn't possibly talk about everybody. I don't know everybody. But just a few examples. I mean, I've seen people talk about politics today, and I've seen what it's done to people. It's broken up marriages. It's caused people to get fired from their jobs. It's caused friendships to be shattered simply because there's no moderation or no moderate attitude left in politics. One side wants it their way, the other side wants it their way. As for me, I'm a registered Democrat, but I don't necessarily vote that way. I vote on the issues. And when it comes to voting for individual people like senators, congressmen, president, that type of thing, I vote for the people that will best represent my interest in the issues that are going to be brought before Congress. Now, having said that, here's kind of an example of what I'm talking about. Obviously, the big controversial thing out there now today is Donald Trump. Okay? And there are people that hate him, there are people that love him, and there are people that virtually have no opinion of him. In my view, Donald Trump has done some of the things I wanted done for this country. I do want our borders protected, but I want people treated humanely. I don't think a wall is necessary, but yet we have to contain our borders, and we can do it with a lot less expensively and with a lot more compassion by using drones and identifying people long before they get hurt or die in the desert or something like that. And we do have to limit the number of immigrants that come in each year so we can protect our own internal security. Secondly, I think he's done a job in letting other countries know that we're not going to bow to their wishes and that we're going to protect America first. And lastly, he has brought the economy to new highs. Now, having said all that, you might say, wow, this guy's a Trump fan. Well, let me tell you the other side of it. The other side of it is simply this. He's a jerk. He might have done a lot of good things, but he treats people like trash. He constantly lies. Of course, both sides of the aisle, they lie. And he constantly denigrates and insults people. Now, having said that, I told you the things I like about him. I tell you another thing, I wouldn't want to work for him. I think, for instance, Obama did a lot worse for this country than Trump did, but I would rather hang out with Obama than I would Trump. I'd rather work for Obama than work for Trump, only because I never know if my job's secure, and he always takes credit for everything. But otherwise, you can't deny the fact that he's done some good things for the country. Okay, I've gotten that off my chest. Here's the second thing. Nothing is ever going to get done until both sides of the table stop this attitude of my way or the highway. When I was growing up, both parties would come to the table, and they might not find the perfect solutions for all the problems that were going on, but at least they would sit down, there was give and take, they would talk, and they would try to find the solutions that could help at the time. It might not please all of the people all of the time, but it was solutions that helped the country. Nowadays, this my way or the highway attitude indicates to me that we're very much like the former fall of the Roman Empire. And if we don't learn to have some moderation in the way both parties treat each other and the way people treat each other, then the United States and the great human experiment and the greatest type of government in the world, democracy, is going to fail, and we're going to become a third world nation. I don't want to talk too long about this subject because it gets me animated, and, I don't want to start, going on some rant. But I just want to give one example. I had a close friend 50 years ago, and he called me up about a year ago, and I had played in a band with him and managed a band that he was in. And he called me up because he was writing a screenplay about our band and how it came to be and what was, how he progressed through that life. And he was writing a screenplay, hopefully to get a movie deal out of it. Now, this guy was an incredibly talented musician, but when he talked to me, one of the first things he told me was that he phoned one of the other guys in the band to see if he was on board, and once he found out that the other guy was a total Trump supporter, he went nuts. He hated him. He never wanted to talk to him again. Okay, and he started ranting about Trump with me, and I told him, listen, I don't talk about politics with friends because I've seen the damage it can do. My main point is this. You have to commit yourself to solutions. You can't commit yourself to there's only one way to solve a problem. We have to find ways to come to the table together as countrymen and the politicians that represent us and get ourselves in a situation where this hate and this racism and everything else that's going on, this misunderstanding of everything else that's going on has come to a close. Now, I know I've ranted. This is only an opinion. This is only a philosophy. None of this is based in fact. It's just how I feel. And that's why this podcast is very important for me to start one, because I want to know how you feel. I want to know how you feel for the fact that we're literally getting nothing done. I mean, you have closed-door meetings on impeachment. I mean, that shouldn't happen. We voted these people into Congress. The people in this country should know everything that's going on. After all, the politicians work for us. I'm sure you've heard all this before. So I want to close by saying, give me your opinions. Give me your philosophies on the state of politics in the world today, on just how long you think democracy is going to last, what you think of democracy, and also what you think of this as a premier podcast. And I got a thick skin, so you can be negative, positive, whatever you want to be. Lastly, you're going to find a link at the bottom of the page to my other page, the John Burroughs page I showed you. And there you can navigate the link and look at interpretations of 60s and 70s songs that I sang, and also chapters in my life story. The chapters of my life story might help you understand some of the subjects we talk about in the future. However, please give me your opinions. I look forward to hearing from them, and I look forward to hearing your opinions on whether or not you think this podcast is even worth it. Thanks very much. Look forward to hearing from you. And this is John Burroughs, over and out.